Hey everybody, welcome. This is Dr. Levi with your show, The Dr. Levi Show. Today is March 30th, 2016. Beautiful day here in Los Angeles. So I hope and believe that wherever you are, right here today, you're making it a spectacular day. We live here in paradise. It's a little bit chilly today, about 55 degrees in March, but overall, beautiful in Los Angeles. This month is Women's Month. So it's Women's History Month, actually. So today, I want to do several things. One is I want to highlight a lot of women in history that I think many go unsung or in general not really given the praise that they really should have. So I want to mention a few of them today. Some are very famous, some not so famous. But the goal here is this show is about honoring women. I think if there's several words I could use for women, it would be intelligent, spectacular, magnanimous, beautiful, entrepreneurial, creative, imaginative, spectacular. Women are such a vital part of who and what we are as a nation, as a being, as a world. And I often think that women are not put on the pedestal that they belong. They really are, if you think about it, the goddesses that walk among us. And I think we should love them, appreciate them, and more importantly, put them on a platform where they can be elevated. And more important, we have to understand that without the elevation of a man, women are still elevated by themselves. They don't need us. We want them, but they don't need us. They're complete by themselves. So I want to say to all the women out there who listen to the show, myself, Dr. Levi, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for your encouragement and support. Thanks for joining me on YouTube. Thanks for being a part of my Facebook family. And know and understand that our show, The Dr. Levi Show, is about bringing you the best in entertainment, bringing you the best and the brightest entrepreneurs, people who are making a difference, and people who want to change the stratosphere. That's what it's about, making a difference and living in this place of real, ever-expanding gratitude and knowing that every day is a gift. Well, every day is a gift. Every time you can take a breath, it's a great thing. Because guess what? As you took that breath, when I went to the hospital this morning, there were many people that night who took their last breath. So be grateful for every day and know and understand that you are worthy just for the fact that you were born. That's it. Not because of your job title, how much money you have, who you know, your connections. No. You're worthy just because. Your relationships don't complete you. Your relationships may complement you, but they don't complete you. You're complete by yourself. Well, with that said, I want to talk about some of the great women in history. For example, Corazon Aquino, she was the first female Filipino president. She was also, a lot of people don't know, she was actually the first president of Asia in any Asian country. She was the first, Corazon Aquino. What about Indira Gandhi? She did so many things to change the face of politics and feminism in India. I can also talk about the great Rosa Parks, who made a difference in 1955 by saying, I'm not going to move. I'm going to sit right here on this bus. I'm not going to move. What about Frida Kahlo, the great Mexican-American artist who did so many phenomenal things? She was married to Diego Rivera. And if you can remember, she has the Blue House in Mexico. The things that she did as a feminist, as someone of really radical change. What about Sonia Sotomayor, who is the first Hispanic Supreme Court Justice? Sandra Day O'Connor, who was the first in 1981. She was placed there. Actually, she was not placed there, I should say, but she was given this opportunity by Reagan, who actually nominated her, Sandra Day O'Connor, as the first Supreme Court Justice who was a woman. That have never been done before. There's only been 4. So it's Sonia Sotomayor, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Elena Kano, and of course there is Sandra Day O'Connor. Those are the 4. So with that said, we're making strides with respect to having opportunities for women. But the great thing is that women are making their own opportunities because they don't need us as men. We're grateful that they have us, but they don't need us. Other people I can think about, of course, is great Maya Angelou, humanitarian, poet, playwright, author, speaker. I had a chance meeting her several times, and she was a very maternal, amazing woman, just spectacular. And of course, there's our First Lady, Michelle Obama. First African-American woman to sit as the First Lady. How phenomenal is that? And for 2 terms, of course. So there are so many women that have, what about Amelia Earhart? who made the first solo flight, transatlantic flight. There's so many women that have done phenomenal things that we have to know that as things change, women were a part of the change. They're a part of making the world and this universe a better place. So, with that said, I want to thank our guests. I want to tell you about them. Our guests are the epitome and the essence of intelligence. They embody true entrepreneurial spirit and growth. They embody the tenacity to be fearless, to make things happen. They have the strength and courage to knock on every door, knowing that some doors may close. As they close, that's okay. They'll keep knocking until the right door opens. They're women that, to me, show us that with your spirit and with your strength, you can accomplish anything. The goal is to not let anybody tell you you cannot do it. To know in yourself that you have this resolve and this resolution to make a difference. Not just for the money involved. See, all money's not good money. It's not about the money. It's about making a difference in a community where you know there's a viable need and there's a change that you can bring forth and it can be sustained. That's the great thing about their company. So I want to welcome to our show today, Wendi and Kim of Mixed Chicks. How you doing?
Oh. Good. Can I get that intro anytime?
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can, Kim. Absolutely.
My goodness.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you here, Wendi.
After the history lesson of all of these wonderful women that came before us, I'm kind of feeling this big right
Oh,
now.
no. You know what? I want you to feel this big because you're a part of that legacy. You truly are. Think about it. You had this idea about certain products for hair, and then you didn't say, somebody else will do it. Oh, I could never do that. You and Kim came together to say, you know what? We can do this thing. Let's try. So I really, really admire that. I truly do. I want to hear about both of you. So where are you from, Wendi? Where are you from, Kim? I want to hear about that.
I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey, but I've been in California since 2001, so I guess I'm going to have to stop saying I'm a Jersey girl.
Yeah, you're a Californian right now. Absolutely. And what was family life for you as a child? You had brothers and sisters?
Oh, yeah. I have one older brother. He's a fireman in Atlantic City currently. And my mother and father are still together. They met at Atlantic City High School.
Right.
My mother's African-American, and my father's I guess half Irish and half Russian Jew.
Yes.
So then you get me.
Yes.
So growing up in Atlantic City, it was a very segregated town. So I don't know, it gave me a broader perspective being of both worlds and having to just kind of maneuver between the two.
Absolutely.
But I have a lovely family. Crazy, but lovely.
Right.
You
Most
know?
of them are. Most of them are, yes.
You got it. But, I mean, they come to visit all the time. My mother especially is wonderful because I had a daughter during the height of our business, you know. In 2008. So she had to come with me for every trade show.
Yes.
So it was nice to be able to have my mother meet me in every town, and my mother would watch her in the hotels while I worked. So I never had to trust anybody else. So
Exactly.
It was, so it's nice. Family, it still supports me and keeps me going.
Fantastic. So family for you as you were growing up was a real happy time. It was a good time.
It's ups and downs, like you said, but they all mold you into who you are. I have so many beautiful memories on the beaches in Atlantic City. Like my dad was the chief of the beach patrol there, so he was my babysitter in the summers. So I would go to work with him at 9 in the morning and not leave the beach until 6 at night with him.
That's
so
fantastic.
I still have sand in my shoes. It's my favorite place. That is my peace.
It really is. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Kim? Let's hear about Kim Etheredge.
Well, I was born in New York, but I am an LA girl.
Yes.
I grew up in Culver City, California. Shout out to Culver City.
Love Culver City.
And I have an Irish mother, a black father. I have growing up, it's just my sister and I. I do have a brother. He's 16 years younger than me.
Yes.
So he was our lucky baby. It wasn't my baby, thank goodness. It was mommy's baby.
Yes,
at 16,
Treat him like your baby.
But it became my
Your
baby.
Yes.
So just my sister and I growing up together, we are so fortunate. We grew up in Culver City in a condominium complex called Tara Hill, and it was such a blended community.
Yes.
Everyone's mom was something else and the father was something else.
Yes.
So there was really no difference for us.
Right.
And even if you were just one specific race, we were all the same. I miss those times. I talked to Wendi about that we grew up being able to run around a complex. You could knock on the neighbor who was 25 years old and single and ask him for some water, and there wasn't an issue.
Right.
You didn't get in trouble. You weren't afraid, you know, as today. So we were just so blessed to have that type of childhood. But I grew up, you know, with tons of girls with the same hair issues as me.
Yes.
You know, it was like our mothers loved, oh, look, I love your curly fro. It's just all over the place. And then, you know, my black aunts were like, oh, no, you need to do something to that hair.
Right.
We are not going anywhere. Come over here, you know.
Right.
So I grew up with, you know, obviously Wendi and I, we always say we have combination textured hair.
Yes.
Because, you know, the industry has always made a normal aisle and the ethnic aisle.
Yes.
So we've blended and mixed several products forever just for our hair texture. And that's many people's hair texture.
Yes,
I don't think there are many people that use just one product. Well, we didn't use one until we created our product.
Yes.
And that was the issue. We're using several products. So growing up, I always laughed that, you know, our bathroom, and until we created this product, looked like a beauty supply store.
Really?
Complete beauty supply. I mean, I think they got a lot of money from us over the years. So for us, you know, making this product, it was great because we got to make a solution for us. I feel like I made a solution for our childhood friends who had these issues.
Yes.
And it just became a solution for many women across the globe.
So when you guys came together to do the Mixed Chicks products, it was birthed out of the fact that you needed products for your own hair.
Yeah.
Personal need. That's absolutely what it was birthed from.
And from there was a thought that if it works for us, maybe we can help other people, not only in our community, but globally, who have these hair issues.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what's funny? It really kind of was a solution for us. It was like a conversation. Hey, listen, Wendi, you wear your hair curly more often than I do. What are you using? Because I have these 5 things here. And she says, well, listen, I use these 10 things here. Let me show you. Right. And I thought, yeah, but it was so normal.
Yes.
It was so normal for us.
And you're like different ratios. So for me to tell her what I use, I'm like, you know what, do you have a pen? And then I'm like, wait, you know what? Let me just bring you my mixture.
Right.
So you would have 10 existing products, but they had to be a certain ratio. If one product was discontinued, then your whole hair was off.
Right.
And one day you'd have good hair, the next day maybe not.
Really?
But this was an issue for many of our friends. So, you know, making the product, it was like, okay, let's try this. But we were like, we didn't pay attention that many of our friends had the same issue. It was so normal.
Right.
It was just normal.
Right.
So when we said, hey, will you try this? And they wouldn't give us the samples back.
Oh, you
that's
knew.
when we thought, okay, wait a minute. This is not just for us. It's for you guys. Okay, so then it was like, do the test. Go out today and see how many people ask you what's in your hair.
Right.
And when we realized, gosh, maybe 4 or 5 times a day, in one day someone asked, hey, listen, my brother has a baby with this woman, and they don't know how to do her hair. What do you put in your hair? And I said, Wendi, you know what? Yeah. We are so accustomed to this question. Yes. This is, I mean, it's normal, but guess what? This is an issue.
Absolutely.
And we should try and solve it.
Absolutely.
And that's what we did.
So coming together, you both became chemists, basically.
Oh,
yeah. We kind of got a degree in the bathroom with my mom. With my mom. I was relaxing her kitchen. I had the clippers.
Yeah, the clippers going.
Everything. I highlighted her hair. Because she couldn't see the back since I was like kindergarten.
So you had to do it.
Yes. Yes. We don't have any real professional training in hair.
Wow.
It's strictly just having
I did
to figure it out
everyone's hair
ourselves.
in the neighborhood.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was just, you know, my mom always laughs like, oh, Kim's going to do their hair today. But it was normal for us. It was just like, okay, I want my hair to look this way today. You always want to emulate a style or, you know, that you saw out there on somebody.
And what about this, the fact that hair texture can change depending on the humidity of the air, the dryness of the air, if it's wet, if it's rainy, if it's damp. How do you deal with that? Because that can be very complex issue.
Well, not only weather, I mean, depending on what's going on in your body.
That's correct.
I mean, we're perimenopause here. You know, my texture's changing.
Right,
okay,
right,
like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, so there are women, you know, really, I mean, with, you know, thyroid issues, glandular issues, you know, menopause, the whole nine.
Polycystic ovarian disease. There's a lot. There's a lot.
It changes the texture.
I'm laughing because I got this gray patch starting, and I'm like, I try to lay it down, and it's like I don't want to lay down. It just stays.
Oh
like
no!
This.
And I got got the gray patch hooked up yesterday. I said, I'm coming here. We got to get the grays dyed.
So you want to lay down those edges?
Oh,
you want to lay down the edges?
You got to cover it.
Don't like to lay down.
If you look at all of our old pictures, Wendy's always with the light hair and I'm the dark.
Right.
I couldn't keep dyeing this hair every 2 weeks. I said, there's a problem here. That might need to be the next solution for mixed chicks. But I started going lighter and lighter. They're calling me Wendi. I'm like, no, I'm Kim. But yeah, I mean, just to get rid of, just blend, do something. Siamese cat.
Lay down the edges.
Yeah. But no, our leave-in conditioner truly can maintain your curls in a variety of weather patterns. I mean, whether it's humid, our leave-in can still define and defrizz your hair. And that's what's so fantastic about it. And if the weather's extremely dry, there's enough oils and moisture in there to moisturize your hair. Mm-hmm. So that can really go across, and we even have a blowout serum that helps with the humidity. Our straightening serum.
Well, you have great products. The great thing about your products, for me, basically, is that they can be used by any woman of any ethnicity if they want great hair. So I give a super plug for Super Chicks products.
We always say
they're the best.
Whether you're black, white, Latin, Mediterranean, or any glorious combination of the above, and let's not leave out the Native Americans.
Absolutely.
I got a couple emails asking why we did not include
why we didn't put them on there, and we should.
And I said you're absolutely right.
That's
absolutely.
right.
Next bottle run we'll have to.
You have to.
And when we did the product, and it was for us, but we knew the combination texture, it did span across. The aisles. Yes. That's the thing. We used to always say, we want to be that middle aisle.
Right.
Why is there left and right? Where are we coming together?
Exactly.
And we just feel that our product does that. Right. We really span across, different women with different textures.
You really do. When I think of your products and your incredible product line is that it really bridges the gap of divisiveness between white hair, black hair.
So important.
You guys are in the center with this bridge where everyone can come across together and do the right thing for their hair and maintain it in a very healthy way.
We're hoping that inspires the industry to change their ways also, because the fact that we need a middle aisle is kind of crazy.
You're leading the charge, though.
And it would be so nice if they started to divide by texture as opposed to race.
I agree.
It would be wonderful. I hope
we
are the impetus for that change.
I agree.
And that is our message. We always used to say, our tag used to be, are you tired of defining your race instead of your curl?
Ooh, I love that.
And the reality is, it's like, that is who we are, and sometimes it is bothersome when, that doesn't work for me, that name. Why are you judging a book by its cover?
Exactly.
If you really want to read the product, read the label.
Yes.
It is for you.
Yes, it is.
And if you try something, if anything in life, you won't know until you try.
This is true.
But that is where we are. We really are a product for everyone. We always feel Mixed Chicks is an umbrella of women, a blend of many.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I have a question for you. So often, many of my patients, and many of them are African American, the women will tell me, I'll say, why are you not exercising more? And they would tell me quickly, Dr. Levi, I can't exercise because I'm going to sweat my hair out. I cannot do it. My edges will be up. It'll be drama. Or they'll say, Dr. Levi, I cannot go swimming because I'll go swimming. My hair is going to be all over the place. I spend too much money on this hair. I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And so you have to exercise. Exercise is a part of being healthy. And I know there are solutions to that, and I believe that Mixed Chicks is a part of that solution. So I want to hear what you think about that.
Well, I think that response is probably not going to be as often as it has been, because more women are now going natural.
Yes.
So a lot of women who had relaxers, although relaxers are great for not sweating your hair out and being able to swim. Although with relaxers, I'm sorry, you have to condition, you have to protect your hair from swimming because of the chlorine.
Exactly.
But a lot of women going natural with natural styles, they should be able to participate, and many of them do, in all of these activities, because now women are expressing themselves with their hair. They're not conforming to what they feel society wants them to look like. So I think we should find more and more women getting rid of that excuse and getting to the core of why they're really not exercising.
Right, exactly.
Well, but it's a valid excuse often, I have to say, because our hair is our glory, and so often the ideas or concepts of what a professional look was, that really had everything to do with why those hairstyles were popular.
Yes.
And they are changing now because we have so many different people in the professional industry that look so many different ways.
Absolutely.
So, but I'm guilty. If I blow my hair out, I'm going to skip the gym and the beach for a couple days.
Really?
I want to make it last. It
Right.
takes a long time to get it like that. So it's kind of like, wait a minute, should I get my hair blown today? Oh, no, it's going to be nice tomorrow, and I have a tennis lesson. Okay, so I'll get it blown out the next day.
Well, that's okay. But we do have to take care of ourselves.
Right, we have
to. And that's the big part that we're missing.
Yes.
Especially with our race.
Absolutely.
That we don't take care of ourselves as
we should.
you know, as we should, and more than other races
But
do.
I hear this question literally at least once or twice a week. Because my patients, I really have a very intensely open and candid relationship. So when I see them gaining weight, when I see them not, I ask them. I say, this is no judgment. I just want to know, what can I do to help you, to remind you about the importance of working out. We have to do that. Working out is not negotiable. We have to do it. And we have to do it to maintain our overall health, to decrease the rates of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, stroke, heart attack, different forms of cancer. So I remind them, but they will tell me and they will stop me. Dr. Levi, I know, not today though. I just had my hair done. I'm not going to do it. And they tell me they are not, and they don't.
Well, I also think, we do things when we have positive reinforcement
Yes.
and someone encouraging us.
Yes.
And lots of times for women, they'd love to have a partner, a companion,
Right.
a buddy, someone, to help them do that. And I think that's maybe a great campaign you could start, your workout buddy type of thing. That would work really good.
And I tell you, I've done that. I've done it's called accountability buddy, where I say, why don't you go with someone at least twice a week? And they would tell me, Dr. Levi, I can't. I have to work. I can't go in the office with my hair everywhere. And they will say, I cannot do it. And they stick to that.
Well, again, like I said, with a lot of women going natural, women are now perfecting and learning how to do their hair.
Right.
We do have a lot of women. I have friends who really don't know how to do their hair.
Right.
They go to a stylist, a professional stylist, which is great. So their hair is trained. Sometimes people are a little afraid to have to work with what they have.
Exactly.
But you know what? There are so many products available now, and so many women are exploring. Hopefully, more women will start exploring with their hair, taking the time to learn how to do their own hair, and then they'll make it to the gym.
Well, the great thing about Mixed Chicks is really about offering individuals an opportunity to do the right thing for their hair, to have your products as a part of their lifestyle. So you do this for life. You want to have great, healthy, rich, vibrant hair. Mixed Chicks is the answer. It's real simple. It's not difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, it's a great, I think, an easy process where, again, like I said, some women think it's a long process in learning how to do their hair. If they're wearing it natural, if they are. We always say natural, but this is natural for us and for many. We've always been able to wear curly, to wear straight.
Right.
But for those who have revert from texturizers and relaxers and going into the natural, it just takes a little more time for them to learn how to do their hair. But you know what? They're learning. They're getting there. They have products. So
Absolutely.
My mind started racing, and I started to picture a hood with an air-conditioned tube going through it.
Right.
A shower cap with an air conditioning hose in it. Right? And you click it
A
on.
little
and
fan.
then-
So you can
Yeah,
run
and then
and
you
keep
won't
it
sweat
cool.
it
Won't
out.
sweat
I
it
don't
out.
know.
well, hey, James Brown, after every show, used to put those rollers
Yes,
back
he
in and
did.
sit under that dryer.
Yes, he did.
So he sweated it out. He got paid. He did his show.
He did.
And he was fly again.
He was
All in one day.
in one day.
In one day. Hey, in a couple of hours.
Well, I got to tell you, as Jarvis and I were talking before you guys came in, we wanted you guys to think about something called like mixed dudes, or mixed men, because, I don't grow my hair out anymore. Jarvis does, of course.
Yeah.
But I think...
We have a product for Jarvis. It's our His Mix. We have a men's line.
Yeah, there it is. You got it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Jarvis.
so we'll have
His
to hook
Mix.
you up, Jarvis.
There you
So
go.
you can be done by Mixed Chicks.
Absolutely. They're going to do you, Jarvis.
Do me, baby.
I didn't say it, they did.
It's hair product.
Exactly. All I want to say is, if you want great products, Mixed Chicks is the way to go. Period. Bar none.
Yes.
Well, what's on the horizon for you guys? Because you have such an amazing product line. You're such amazing speakers. Your website is fantastic. What's on the horizon for you guys with respect to creating more products?
We are actually creating more products to extend our brand.
Fantastic.
goal obviously was not to have tons of products. We like to make quality products.
Absolutely.
So we have to take our time to make sure we make good products,
Right.
that the consumer needs. So we listen to our consumer and they say, hey, I might need this, I may need that. So we just, do a little testing. And so we're working on that. We have a cosmetics line.
Fantastic.
Because just like with our hair that comes in different textures, we come in different shades and colors.
Yes, we do.
So we have just launched our dual stick. It's a foundation and a bronzer all in one.
Fantastic.
So that's great. We've just started that, and then, we'll eventually expand on that. You have to crawl before you walk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and, again, we're moms.
Yes.
We're business women.
Right.
I mean, there's always so much.
Yes.
We'd love to, open the door to other opportunities.
Right.
We always feel Mixed Chicks is a brand.
Yes, it is.
And there are so many opportunities. So we just have to, take our time.
Right.
Find the right opportunities and move forward.
And manage our time properly.
Absolutely.
It's tough because we have so many distractions. It's tough to stay creative.
And you have families. You have
right.
partners. You have
Well,
children.
We've got that, and not only that, our families extend. I know we only mentioned our immediate family, but Kim's father is from 13 kids. My mom's from 12 kids.
Wow.
I have 60 first cousins. I've got 11 aunts and uncles. So
That's
even
a
though
lot.
my core is small, the extended family is huge. So imagine those phone calls.
That's intense.
Yeah, they come from Jersey,
Oh,
there are just distractions with that, and fires to put out within the business.
Right.
So each time we think we're about to go in one path, you get.
Right.
Well,
Push somewhere
But it
else.
all works out.
Yes, it
You know,
does.
You
Yes,
just
it
have to
does.
prioritize.
This is true.
That's the beauty of life, though.
It is.
I always say being in the blender.
Yes.
If we weren't in the blender, what would we be doing?
Absolutely.
So, I think that's, again, I say it keeps us healthy, but we're not that healthy. But it does
Right.
because it keeps
Keeps
you on
you
your
moving.
toes, keeps you on your feet,
It
keeps
keeps
you
your
going.
mind sharp.
Oh, my mind doesn't stop.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
idle mind is a dangerous
Right.
one.
Yes, very much so.
absolutely.
Very much so.
So we're just always doing something, which is great. It'd be nice to be able to focus on one thing,
Right.
but I don't think that's the path God chose for us.
Exactly right.
So we have to take what He's given us.
Keep moving.
Be thankful.
Yes,
Be
yes,
thankful.
yes.
And we're thankful. And you know what? You just move forward.
I agree.
No complaining.
What sustains you all to do what you do in the face of adversity when you don't get someone to be as kind about your products or as kind to you when you're at a trade show, for example? What keeps you going? Is it your faith? Is it your push to know that you're doing the right thing for your family because you have conviction about the product line? What keeps you going and motivated?
Well, I first of all, I know that everyone didn't come from the same parents that I came from. So everyone has a different vision or different thoughts or ideals or whatever.
Yes.
So I don't criticize people. You have opinions.
Of course.
But, you should educate yourself sometimes before you speak.
Yes.
I always
Yes.
feel that. Like,
Yes.
I don't really want to say anything unless I know what I'm talking
Absolutely.
about. I think that's important. But, I'm a single mom. I have my kids. So for me, not giving up. There's just no other answer.
Right.
You just have to move forward because I have to instill in them work ethic.
Yes.
You don't take no for an answer. Failure comes, but guess what? The ground is no place for a champion.
That's
So you
correct.
get up.
That's correct.
So just moving forward, being productive, being a good person. I mean, I'm tough, but I'm soft inside. I really am caring. So I do care about what people say, but it never hits me to the core because I know who I am.
Exactly.
And so just, I guess being so fortunate that I had parents to raise me to know who I am, it has stayed. And I'm instilling that in my children. And there's just so many people just really are a little lost and don't know.
Yes.
So for me, I always try to encourage other women and try to help them see through some of the gray areas for them.
Right.
But I can only do that because that's what I choose to do.
Absolutely. I love that statement that what other people think, just to summarize, you say what other people think of you doesn't define who you are.
Never.
It's just their opinion.
It's
Period.
all it is. And you have a right to an opinion,
course.
of course, freedom of speech.
Of course.
But it doesn't make me.
Exactly.
Or break me.
Or break you.
Yes.
Exactly right. Now, what about yourself, Wendi? What keeps you going like this?
Well, giving up just isn't an option. Just like Kim
Period.
said, it never has been in life.
Right.
I've always strived to be my best. I'm also competitive. That's kind of kicked in a little bit with this business because we see little copycats coming up behind us.
They're not mixed chicks,
no,
though.
Well, no, they're not. But it's just like I ran track. I played basketball. I played two-man volleyball. I'm competitive. So to me, it's kind of like I want to stay on top. I want our brand to stay on top. I want us to continue to have integrity and keep our products quality products. I don't want to just change and conform into the industry. I'd like to continue to change the industry.
Right.
I also want to be a great example for my children.
Right.
I want my husband to adore me. I want to make my parents proud.
Of course.
And I want to use this time I want to just get the most out of this experience. You know, you never know when it's going to be over. Your last day,
right.
You don't know. So you just have to make the most of each day and do your best. And I also really enjoy being interracial, growing up. You know, especially when things weren't as integrated.
Yes.
It's still like that in Nebraska and other places. And I know there are multicultural children who would like to fit in somewhere. Right. And I want them to know that they're already in.
Exactly.
As they are.
Absolutely.
So to get that message out there. And also if there's when the company does well and there's excess, we like to share. We like to share with other
you guys have given
people.
a lot. You've done for breast cancer awareness. You've done the sickle cell foundations. You've done a lot. You're a very philanthropic, humanitarian company. But more importantly, I think it's quite clear that the heart of your company is about growth, is about not only revolution, about evolutionary change in the hair product industry. And you both are doing it so extremely well. You really are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Thank
are.
you.
And I appreciate this. I want to hear about your. And this is I was thinking about this question when I was driving, and I thought, well, should I ask this? And I thought, yeah, I have to ask it. I want to hear about what do you guys do together when you don't agree on things. When Wendy's saying, hey, I want to do this, and Kim's saying, no, I want to do this, how do you guys come to that happy medium? Is it just with great communication, or do you sometimes come to the point of saying, well, you know what, we'll do this and we'll do that?
At a silent auction, we purchased these Layla Ali boxing gloves.
Oh, yeah, yes.
We go to the ring.
We do get out.
You do get out. You don't walk it out. You just do get out.
We do get out.
No, okay.
No.
No, you know what?
Right.
It's actually, we don't always agree, and that's not unhealthy. That's
it's not
very
unhealthy.
healthy.
Yes, it is.
Because two minds are better than one.
This is true.
So for us to have different opinions is a good thing.
Yes.
I think part of, for us, I think when we disagree, even the time that it takes to kind of come to the same consensus is a great time.
Right.
Because we're both thinking.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're both thinking, and then we can see things a certain way or your way, or we don't see it that way.
Right.
But, we do a lot of the same work, but we do take leads in other ways, in different positions. But it's never, I don't feel, that affects us. Do you know what I mean? Or affects our relationship.
Or your friendship.
We had to learn. Yeah. I was better friends with her sister. That's how I met her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we started out more as like, oh, that's my friend's big sister.
Right.
That's more how it started out. So our friendship developed through our partnership.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a real solid, like we're tight, know everything about each other when we started.
No.
We learned each other.
That evolved.
Yeah. We learned each other in the past 12 years. Is it that long?
Right. Yeah.
Wow. We really learned each other. And in the beginning, we didn't really quite know how to disagree with each other. Kim will always disagree and be really verbal about it, where sometimes I'm afraid.
I don't back down.
And I get afraid of me that I might get so passionate, maybe I won't stop, and I might get the gloves.
But
because in high school, sometimes that would happen. Right. So I know it's been a long time since then, but when you got it in you.
You got it in you.
So, yeah,
Well, I'm always there.
But no, you're right. She's right there, like what? And standing up. I'm like, you better sit down. Sit down. Don't get up on
Don't get up on me like that.
What do we say? It takes me 1 second to snap. It takes her 2.
Right.
We're both Taurus women too. So imagine 2 bulls when we do disagree. We're both Taurus women. Yes. So, but we've learned each other, and Kim has made me feel safer to disagree. Like it's okay to fight. She's got a sister. I don't. It's like I don't have all that.
Well,
exactly.
It's different.
Without it going.
This is true.
Yeah. So, yeah. But
I
she
think
taught me.
Wendy is a problem solver, but I just find with Wendy, probably before for her, she just didn't express herself
Yes.
as often as I did.
Right.
But she's come to that where, you know what, wait a minute, I don't have to feel bad for expressing myself because she's worried about, is it going to hurt you or hurt your feelings?
Right.
Because in the past, it may have hurt people's feelings.
Right.
But I, explained to her, it's not going to harm me. I don't harbor.
Right.
Let's
She
get it
doesn't.
over with,
And keep moving.
and then we're done.
Right.
I'm not going to hold on to it and talk about it later.
Right.
And I would harbor things.
And she
so
would.
I've learned how to let go.
I get
Let
the
it go.
late night phone calls.
Right.
After 2 glasses of wine.
Really?
Let me tell you something.
I don't like how you spoke to me. And I want you to apologize.
Like that.
I'm like, what?
You let that go hours ago.
Yeah. That was earlier today. But, I think it's good for us. It's good for us. It's healthy. And like she said, she and my sister, they're all still great friends.
Of course.
They hang out. We don't hang out on
We're
the
together
weekends.
enough. We're together
Right.
60 hours a
work.
week.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
a lot.
we don't have that, some people think, oh, well, you're not including me. We're with each other all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So our personal space is our personal space. Right. We do share it with our children and barbecues and parties and the whole nine. But it's not that need for, we have to be together all the time. We're our own people.
My husband is our third silent partner. He's supposed to be silent anyway.
Right.
He's been
More vocal.
very vocal the last several years. But anyway, he helps because we do have, we decide if 2 people agree. The other one, you can go ahead and argue and try to get that other person on your side. And
well, we know what side he's going to pick.
You do know.
Stop lying. They agree way more than he and I
Do
agree.
they really?
I don't even
But
pull
that's
that card.
why
I haven't yet.
She doesn't have to because I convince her to agree with me.
She does the same with him behind the scenes. Yeah. So
What's his name?
Brad Kaya.
Hey, Brad Kaya, shout out to you. They're talking about you, dude.
The king of the throne.
Yeah.
His mix.
I think he does have a picture of him on the throne, right? And us sitting
Well,
lower.
we
for
were
the
going
fun-
to do that for Christmas.
Really?
We were going to put him in the king's chair and us on the side.
Just like
Like we were all docile.
right. Which is just the opposite.
It's the opposite. My husband is the sweetest guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's so sweet. Intolerant, yes.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Well, I think it's great to hear how you guys have these creative minds that come together just to do really great things on a friendship level, on a professional level. You both can multitask really well, I would think.
Oh, you have to.
Yes.
I think women naturally multitask.
I would agree with that.
That's the bottom line.
I would agree with that.
Again, people always say, well, what do you do and what do you do? We just do it.
Period.
Yeah. So it's we always say, where I stop, she'll pick up. Where she stops, I pick up.
Right.
You just keep going.
Right.
We had an interview the other day, but we were in a hotel room and we couldn't, the speaker, she couldn't have us on speaker.
Right.
So we're so good at it that it was
You have
like
to go
I
phone to
answered
phone.
and it was like I would answer and like kind of repeat her question, say it, and then be like this, and she didn't even know.
He's going back and
And
She
I
had
forth.
no
answered
idea
it.
that it wasn't
Really?
the same person the whole time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're
we
good at
kinda-
finish each
You
other.
just understand each other.
Yeah, without even looking half the time.
That's just great
We
friendship.
sometimes
We're
show
becoming
up with the
twins.
same outfits.
Do you really?
Oh my
Most of the time.
gosh!
It's like-
I'm like, what?
Do you
Why
really?
do you have that on? The other day I changed. I had the same thing on. I'm glad I changed.
That's unbelievable.
You'll think,
Well, I tell you, you guys have just amazing energy. I want to tell everybody listening that Mixed Chicks products are just the best on the market. So if you really want to do the best for your overall health, not only your hair health, but overall health, Mixed Chicks products is the way to go. It truly is. I'm just happy that you guys are fearless. And what keeps that fearlessness going?
I can't tell you. It's just I was just made that way.
Period.
It's just that way.
It's
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's natural.
I can't put words to it.
Well, what about who are your heroes? Who's inspired you guys to continue to do this? Because this is a tough road. To be an entrepreneur as a person is tough. As a man, it's tough. As a woman, I believe it's even tougher. So what was in you to say, I'm going to make this happen? Was it looking at your parents, people in the community?
I make this happen, like this
This is a big deal.
business, this brand. I was a gym teacher at North Hollywood High School when Kim and I talked about what was happening, with the hair, and like we really are onto something here.
Right.
She believed in it more than I did. I think.
Yes.
I think both my parents they both worked for the city. They retired at a certain age. You know, they would get on me about, you have to have health insurance. You have to have health insurance. So it's like you had to, I think that's why I became a teacher.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Security. Security.
not the only, I mean, I really did love the kids, but it was like the pressure of, wait, I need health insurance. so being an entrepreneur was not like in my brain.
Right.
It was in hers.
It was in hers.
I'm not a risk taker, but once I'm in motion,
yeah, you're unstoppable.
My husband drew pictures one time of what the logo that each of us would have as part of the company. He was a pen. Kim had a microphone, and I was a truck.
Ooh.
I was like, why am I the truck? But now I get it. It's because I'm not going to stop.
No,
it's a
you're not
4-wheel
going to.
drive truck.
Yes.
And I'm going to stay on the path and keep everybody like on task.
Right.
So that's what I do once I'm shifted. But I have to be shifted. I'm like a cow grazing.
Right.
I
And
need
once you
to
go
hold
there,
the mic to yell at her to make that
to
laugh.
make that happen.
Yeah. And she hears it.
And I won't
Right,
stop.
she hears it.
And I won't stop.
I think it's great. What about yourself, Kim? What keeps you on that path like that?
You know what? I think my upbringing.
Yes.
I've just always believed you can do and be whoever you want to be. That's just the bottom line.
Yes.
I don't think it's really being cocky.
No.
I don't think it's being overconfident, which are good qualities to have.
Right.
But I just, I've always felt whatever I put my mind to, I can do.
Period.
That's it. I just don't feel that you can't do what you want to do. Right. I always believe no one can do anything to you that you don't allow.
Absolutely.
So it's just like if you go ahead and you decide you want to do this, then it's going to be what it is. I remember my granddaddy used to say, be careful what you ask God for because he's going to give it to you.
Absolutely.
So you better be ready for it.
This is true.
So I always was afraid to ask.
Yes.
I always was a giver, and I realized my purpose was giving to so many.
Yes.
But I thought if I took a third of that energy and put it into me, which I thought was a little selfish, and I don't know why I used to think that way. I don't know. I had that guilt. Like maybe you're just supposed to do for others. Maybe being a giver.
It's a female thing. I think
maybe. And so I was nervous to do that, but just giving a little bit of energy, and I could see it coming back. And I thought, okay, well maybe it's not wrong to focus on that. And then having children, you're like, no, it's absolutely not wrong because you have to do for them and show them that you have to do it. Someone's not going to do it for you. And that's just always how I grew up. My dad was always that type. Kimberly, get up. You have to do this. No one's going to do this for you. Pick this up, do that. What do you think this is? And that's just always how I was raised. Like, it's you.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get anywhere if you don't do it.
Yep. You have to be ready.
And I think that's what it is, always being ready.
Be ready. My dad would always say, Levi, stay ready, son, so you don't have to get ready.
Right.
And when he would say it as a kid, I always think, what a stupid statement. But now, at 35 plus, it's like, oh, I get it. I get that statement now. You got to stay ready.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to be. We always say that, we're more reactive than proactive, where we need to be a little more proactive, but we react well.
Right.
And challenge, I think, for me and for Wendi, a challenge has always been great for me. Right. You're challenging me. I'm on.
Yeah,
it's on.
It.
You know what I mean? And it's not. Again, I always try to teach my kids. It's not that failure's bad because you learn a lot in your mistakes.
Yes, you do.
It's just where do you go from there?
Right.
And don't be disappointment. You can be disappointed, but how are you not going to be disappointed next time?
Right.
So I always look at those things, you know, and then just move from that.
Absolutely. When you said disappointment, it made me think of something else my dad would always say, if we have no expectations of people, then we're never disappointed. I've always loved that.
But you know what?
We have to have expectations
I'm guilty
of
of that.
Really?
Of not having expectations of others so they won't disappoint me. That's my flaw in others.
Yes.
So you know what I do? I don't disappoint myself.
Exactly.
Which is the plus to that.
That's the plus.
But with others, horrible. We're not going to talk about relationships, okay? But I don't have the expectation, so I won't get disappointed. It's horrible. I have horrible taste.
Look, I'm not going to say anything because one of them might be watching. They were nice guys.
Did you hear? One of them. Hey, never a dull moment with us. Ever.
This is Mixed Chick Central. Oh my
it's so
goodness!
true with the expectation, and I think for the business again,
Yes.
I chose again just to have expectation from myself.
Yes.
And I have a business partner, and
course.
I mean, she and Brad always would say, "Let go, let go. You're a control. I am a control freak. Let go." But listen, letting go, it doesn't work for me.
Right.
Because when you don't do it like I do it, I'm crazy.
That's true. But then,
And it's true.
you know what? She ends up trying to do everything, and then like, why am I doing everything? And
But
it's
I
like,
have to go back and
because
do
you're
it.
not trusting.
Because you want to make
You're
sure.
not
And I
trusting.
don't. I
Right,
don't.
other people do
delegating.
it.
Because I
Yeah.
have to get it done.
Yes.
It has to
And then it
get
makes
done.
me like that because I'm like, well, wait a
Oh,
minute.
wait,
If she's
what about
doing
me?
everything, then I look like a sorry partner.
But it's okay.
So I'm trying to get in there.
When it's a problem, it's a problem, and I'll say it. But otherwise, I just have to get it done.
Really?
I'm not a complainer. I just
No.
have to do it.
Right. And you want it done your way and the way that you've agreed upon, so it's done
Well,
properly.
but we've realized we've had a lot
she's
of
not complaining,
disappointment.
but she's stomping.
But we've had a lot of disappointment. We've had a lot of disappointment and having me give up, some of that. And it's like, if we had done it ourselves,
Right.
it wouldn't
Yeah,
be this
you're
way.
right.
the same.
So I
You're
get
right.
frustrated.
totally
Like,
She's
get it.
absolutely right.
please don't make me do it again. Let me do it.
Let me do it.
In the past, like 3 months, two
Yes.
major things.
Let me
And
do
she's like,
it.
see, look at you, delegate.
If I had done it.
Well, I want to ask you both if you could both just tell, like, the younger audience that are watching, like young women out there, if they have ideas about things, what are like some caveats of life that you would share with them that would keep them going? What are your thoughts about that, Wendi? If there's a woman out there thinking, I'd like to do something for makeup, or she wants to create something, what are your thoughts to motivate her to think, yes, you can do it?
It just like who would bother reading half a book and not getting to the end, finding out how it ends?
Yes.
Don't you want to know how it ends?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Don't you want a good ending?
Yes, you do.
So then start changing the chapters and make it that.
Absolutely. Create your life.
Yeah, you got it.
I agree with that. What about yourself, Kim?
I just say, don't say if a coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Oh, I agree with that.
That's the bottom line.
I agree.
And you feel that.
Yes.
And if you feel passionate, and you know what I love telling women, when you have someone on the sideline telling you, oh, that's no good, you're not going to do it, that's not going to work, that tells you go for it.
Right.
There's
right.
so many negative
And to
people.
let them go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Go for it.
Right.
And just do it. And that's the bottom line. I mean, what happens? Okay, it didn't work this time. It works next time.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
That just made me now I have a question. What
Yes.
does "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls" mean? That song. I like it, but when I'm listening to it, I'm like, am I not supposed to chase the waterfall? I'm serious. Like, have you ever asked yourself that when you listen to the song?
So I thought that song meant don't go chasing waterfalls.
it
meant
mean? Stick
don't
to
go
the rivers that
chasing.
you know?
No, don't go chasing things that you know are not good for you that are running from you. Why try to run after them? This is leaving you. Let it go. Just make your own waterfall.
I'm going to
That's what
enjoy
I
that
thought that
song
meant.
even more. now.
Okay, that's where I
Make your own
interpret that.
waterfall
Yeah,
or
make
keep your pond?
Well, no, make your own waterfall. Make your own life. Like,
Okay.
create your own life versus chasing something that's really not good for you, doesn't work for you, but you still want it, but it's not. They don't want you.
Stick to the
so why
rivers
go to
of the
someone who doesn't really want you? Make your own life. That's what that song's about. I mean,
So
what about you guys, Janet, Jarvis? How did you guys interpret that song?
I was just as confused.
Where we go, the waterfalls. Well, let me tell everybody right now, Mixed Chicks, they have great products. As you know, Kim and Wendi are just phenomenal women who are on a mission to revolutionize hair products, to revolutionize the hair product industry, and more importantly, about empowering women to know and understand that what they want to achieve, they can do it. You can create your own life by your thoughts, by your work ethic, by your stick-to-itiveness, and by your ability to have a dream. And as Wendi said so wonderfully and so wisely, to simply know what's the end of the book. You want to start the book and finish it. You create the chapters of your life. And as Kim said with such unabashed truth, is that people's thoughts about you don't define who you are. You define yourself. You know, my dad would always say, people don't define us, we define ourselves, which I've always loved also. So Wendi and Kim, I want to thank you both for being here. Any closing words?
Thank you for having us. This
Oh, it was
was
wonderful.
lovely, and I was excited to come here because I watched some of your YouTube, and I was like, I'm going to leave there feeling inspired. I knew I would.
Great.
And
Well,
the other
thank you.
questions come later.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we have a lot.
More waterfall questions?
Kind of.
Anything else? Kim Etheredge.
Just to reiterate what Wendi said, thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely.
Really
It's a
happy
blessing.
to have this platform.
Well, thank you.
And we hope, your listeners will go out and, find that there are products for their hair and they
Absolutely.
can explore and do their own thing.
And what's the website for Mixed Chicks?
It's mixedchicks.net or mixedchicks.com.
Fantastic. And what about, you have social media platforms like Facebook?
We do. Instagram's Mixed Chicks Hair. On Facebook, it's Mixed Chicks. We have a products and services page. We also have a Mixed Chicks crew page.
Fantastic.
On Twitter, Mixed Chicks Hair,
Awesome.
at Mixed Chicks Hair.
I want to ask everyone, please join Mixed Chicks on all of their social media platforms. I thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. We're at like 15,000 something right now. Our goal, of course, is 1.5 million. We're still trending up. I know we're going to make it there by the grace of God. And I want to remind everyone, be kind to the veterans. Those women and men are the real heroes of America. And know and understand, when you see someone who's homeless, they're just a reflection of yourself. So always be kind to them and know and understand that the doctor is no better than the dog walker. We're all here to be of service to other people. So I want to remind you to live in gratitude and know and understand that every day is a gift. So use it wisely. Take care, everyone. See you next week.